Today, we made over 750% profits on our Tesla trade. We also traded SPY for 87.5% profits. So let's go over both of these trades, breaking down what we did and how we made so much money today. First, we're going to cover SPY. So we did 452.5 puts. Now, the reason for that is, as we can see, pre-market on SPY here. It's gapping up from the prior day, and we saw this big move upwards. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here is that we have a pretty significant resistance level at 453.3, or let's say 453.5. And that's coming in from this. Like this is an extreme level of resistance here. So there's a good chance, especially from the prior day, like we're seeing some selling pressure of the past few days once it reaches a high of the day. And so the idea here is it's probably not going to break this 453.3 or 0.5, and we're going to have a down day. And so as you can see above, we alerted this whole thing live in our Discord, mapping out the trade that we were going to take on SPY, as well as you can see on Tesla and Amazon, both of which also worked really well. And we'll get to Tesla in a second here. But for SPY, 452.5 puts, was going to grab them pretty quick off the open. So we got in at 0.8, right around here. It did go a little bit against us here. So the low on these options, or these puts, was 63 cents. So still in line with our risk tolerance. Although looking at this in kind of hindsight, I probably would have entered the trade closer to this 453.5 area, just because we would have gotten a better price, probably around 0.7. But we held on, and then as you can see, this nice move downwards. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this section real quick, because we ended up selling on this green candle here. And the reason for that was because this 451.7 is a key support area. Now, as you can see, it basically bounced right off of that. So we were glad we took profits, but then we saw this immediate reversal down again. And then also a much larger move later on in the day. But there's no way you could have held on through this move back up, because the high here was basically 80 cents back at our entry. And that's just not smart trading. So we took our profits. That's fine. The low, or the high of the day here, was $2.85. So if you had held longer, sure, you would have made more money, but I don't think that would have been a smart trading decision, because in other circumstances, maybe this would have reversed directions and you could have been stopped out of your position. So that was one trade we did, SPY 452.5 puts for 87.5% profit, from 80 cents down to 1.5, where we sold right here for 87.5% profits. Now, the other trade that we did was on Tesla. Now, this thing was a monster. So looking at Tesla, Tesla was one of the few stocks this morning that was opening pre-market. Or sorry, that was opening not as strongly as the rest of the market. As you can see, we opened below yesterday's high, and we were opening around this 257.5 area. And it looked kind of weak. And so based on the chart here, especially with all this selling above this 258.7 area, there's a good chance that this thing drops. And so that's exactly what happened. And that was our game plan going into today. So we entered right here when it hit this 458.4 area. We got in at $1 on 255 puts. So pretty solid entry. The low here was 85 cents. So again, really solid entry. And we see some immediate action on this thing, which was so nice to see. Now you could have potentially taken profits around this 251.7 area. Around here was around $4, which is still a great trade. We ended up selling right here. We sold it $8.55 for 755% profits, which was huge. Now, this wasn't a perfect exit, I would say. Ideally, we should have taken profits right when this thing hit 246. But I was kind of thinking like maybe this will come a little bit lower. And obviously it did, just not within my time frame. Because here you could have sold for around $9. But yeah, we took it off here just because I thought the trade was maybe done for the day. And usually on these really large moves, I look for price decreases in sets of 3. And so what I mean by that is, okay, this is the first downward price action, this is the next one, and this is the third one. Now we did kind of have 4, maybe 5-ish, but we decided to take profits off here just because, one, it was also already a massively profitable trade, and I wasn't 100% sure how much lower this thing would go, if at any lower. It was also at a pretty significant support area, but that's okay. Now, as you can see, it did end up moving lower later on in the day, down to this basically final support area, which ended up holding. And the high here was $12.50. So if you had somehow held on through this whole move, wow, congratulations. That would have been incredible, a 10-bagger. But we only did 755%, which we're still proud of. And again, guys, all of this is alerted live in our Discord with the exact entries and exits and strategy. So you can copy the same trades that we do real time, and have some time beforehand before you enter the trade to actually map things out. So like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, leave a comment on our video if you'd like, and we will catch you on the next video. Have a great weekend, everyone.